I get up every morning at 5 a.m. I get up because I know that I feel better, and when I feel better, I'm able to give to others. My parents always taught me, like, if you're gonna go after something, don't half-ass it, go full force. That's literally how I do anything in business. Hi, my name's Amanda Nig, and we are in a barn right outside of Beaver, South Dakota that was built in 1943. I grew up in western Nebraska. I actually did not grow up on a farm. My dad is an engineer, as in he drives the trains. My mom's works at UPS, and I am like the smallest in my whole entire family. I'm what they call Mighty Mouse. I was a scrapper growing up. So my sister, who is 5'4", my brother's 6'3", my oldest sister's 5'5", I was 4'9". I've even broken my brother's nose countless times, just like wrestling him. He just didn't fuck with me. I graduated with a medical degree, moved to South Dakota, started selling insurance. A lot of the agents worked B2B, business to business, where I preferred to work farm to farm. I can't tell you, I've met like llamas, I've helped guys drive tractors, and one of my clients and his wife was talking about this young, single, hot farmer. Long story short, I needed a trailer to move my stuff up from Sioux Falls. He said, if I find you a trailer, you have to go out on a date with me. And I was like, okay, if you find me a trailer, I'll go on a date with you. Well, I didn't think about it. He's a farmer. What does every farmer have? A trailer. So I ended up going on a date with him, and the rest was history. It quickly just progressed into that family role, which our boys are miniature Louis Niggs. Like, they're gonna be farmers. There's no question about it. They love everything when it comes to agriculture, especially when Louis gets a new piece of equipment. I don't care where they are, they'll make sure they are here when that piece of equipment comes to the farm. So when Louis and I got married, I went from full-time insurance to part-time to take care of the farm, do that farm wife role, you know, cook meals for harvest time for all the guys, pay the bills, do the bookkeeping, and quickly learned that that was not my thing. Louis supported me. He knew that I needed something to be passionate about. So I decided to go back full-time with insurance. And I had this huge business deal coming up, and I was taking Bo to daycare. It was right before the national lockdown. I remember I was just super frazzled that morning. I was all over in the garage looking for Bo's special backpack that he had to have on his last day of daycare. But I convinced him, hey, let's just go to daycare, I'll find it and drop it off. And I remember getting down the road to daycare, and Louis, from the time I walked from the car to the lady's house, Louis had called me 8 times, which never happens. So I got on the phone with Louis, and if anybody knows my husband, he's like the ultimate jokester. I remember just hearing his voice and how serious he was. And he's like, the house is on fire. John and I just crawled through the master bedroom window. You need to get here now. It was March. It was slick, cold. And I remember pulling up to the house. I couldn't even see the fire at this point. And I remember getting closer, and I just see this smoke coming out of the garage. Not even thinking, I pulled up to the house. I jumped out of the car, and I tried to run in the front door and like hit this post. I could hear Louis and John screaming, and I ran around back. John and Louis were just bawling. And shortly after the fire department got there, they called another fire department, and then another fire department, and then another fire department. Next thing you know, there's 5 small fire departments there. They're all just working seamlessly. All these people trying to save our home. This wind came out of nowhere and just pushed the fire through the whole house. As soon as they brought that excavator down the road, it was just like that feeling of you couldn't do anything, but you knew exactly what that excavator was there for. The memories of building that house with my husband, that was supposed to be our forever home, and he had his dad's stuff in there that we'll never get back, and his baby books, bows for steps were in that house. All that stuff is just gonna be gone. People would walk up and ask how I was doing, and I literally just didn't know how to answer them. I was just numb. You had to make all these decisions right off the bat. You couldn't even take in the experience of what just happened. I remember waking up 3 days later after the house burned down, and for me, I needed something, and I prayed to God, and I was like, I need something to get through this, like just some kind of hope. For some reason I got this ideal that I needed to go back to the house and look for my wedding ring. I texted like 7 farm moms. I was like, I want to go back and look for my wedding ring, because I never wear my wedding ring when I work out. And so I knew where it was at in the house. And I remember telling John about it, and John's like, oh, you're gonna find it, Mom. We're gonna find your wedding ring. I called these ladies and they showed up. They were there within 30 minutes. They beat me to the house, which was insane. And that morning it was so calm. It was like you could hear a pin drop. There was hardly any smoke. And we went around back and climbed down one of the windows. I walked the floor pad in the house, and we were standing there, and I was like, it had to fall right here. It had to be like right in this area. We were trying to use the metal detectors and it wasn't working. Just started shifting through it with our hands. And then all of a sudden one of his cousins pops up and goes, I found it. I remember turning around because she was right behind me, and I turned around and she found it. Like, it was my wedding ring set, and I just like fell to my knees and started crying. We literally just did the impossible. That moment, it got so foggy, we had to grab all our stuff and get out of there like right away, and we all climbed down and looked back, and it looked like someone just started a bonfire. In that short amount of time, which was 45 minutes, we found my wedding ring. It was just so crazy and so unreal. That's actually the only thing I took from the whole house. When you lose everything and you have nothing, and then you have insurance companies coming after you, and you have to do this by this date, or you had to get this done, there's a lot of things that were unknown. And the only thing that I knew that I could get in a day was a workout. It was my time to fill my cup so that I could give to my boys and give to my husband and be present in our marriage. This all happened the day before the pandemic. The next day, everything was closed. Kids were home, we're homeschooling, and it was just like I needed that one space to just be mine. And I've had a lot of workouts where I cried. Me and my husband talk about this all the time. I started posting my fitness online. It was one of the things where I started coaching a couple friends. The next thing you know, I had people ask me, hey, have you put a program together? No. Well, have you thought about personal training? No. Well, maybe you should. And the seed just started growing bigger, and next thing you know, I applied to get my personal training certifications, and I applied for this apprenticeship, and the ball just took off from there. Just like my community rallied behind us when we lost our home and going through that traumatic event as a family, I knew that I wanted to be able to give back to my community and to my family. And that was how I created and why I created Farm Fit. In the ag community, we are known for pushing boundaries, and I took that value and applied it directly into Farm Fit. We are not just personal trainers. We are fitness coaches. We are here to help you physically and mentally go through our program to be the best version of yourself. It truly is a non-judgmental place. Our goal at Farm Fit Training is to win together. I always talk about that slogan, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. I wanted to be strong and present, and it was a huge blessing in disguise. Like, I really don't think I would have put my fitness online or turned towards fitness as a way to deal with all the unknowns and stress that I was going through. If somebody tells you you can't do something, prove them wrong, but do it for you. Like, if it's a positive thing, go after it. I was told that I could never do a fitness business, and through various steps of figuring it out, now I have over 85 people in this amazing app that I get to coach and train and be a part of their lives daily.